Señor Presidente, gracias por organizar esta reunión informativa sobre la consolidación y el sostenimiento de la paz, aspectos fundamentales de la labor de este Consejo y de todo el sistema de las Naciones Unidas. Excellencies, peacebuilding and sustaining peace are first and foremost about enhancing our strategic coherence to support efforts by national governments and their people to prevent the outbreak, escalation, continuation and recurrence of conflict. And this Council can contribute in several ways. I thank you for seizing this opportunity to take a long-term view of peace and security challenges. And, Mr. President, peacebuilding and sustaining peace requires strong partnerships beyond the United Nations in support of nationally owned solutions. We need a broad and inclusive approach to such partnerships, working closely with host country authorities, regional and sub-regional organizations, and I am happy to see here Commissioner Shergi, the Peace and Security Commissioner of the African Union, our most relevant partner in peace and security in the world, with whom we have an exemplary cooperation, but also with international financial institutions, including the World Bank and other multilateral donors, the business community, civil society, and local actors. The Peacebuilding Commission can bring far greater strategic coherence to international efforts by providing a platform for complementarity and partnership across the pillars of the United Nations. And it also brings national and local voices to the table. You have already benefited from the Commission's support, including in the Sahel. I urge you to build on this example to achieve greater operational and policy coherence in other contexts and situations. Sustaining peace requires support for inclusivity, particularly of those who are frequently marginalized and excluded. And that means women and girls, the elderly, the young, people with disabilities, and minorities of all kinds. Women's empowerment through meaningful participation is a proven way to deepen the effectiveness and sustainability of peacebuilding. And this Council has the means to ensure greater inclusion and success by more consistently applying your own robust agenda on women, peace and security. Earlier this week in this chamber, you heard firsthand about the important role young people can play in sustaining peace. Young women and men are key peace builders. We must work with them and for them far more effectively. And most critically, building and sustaining peace requires addressing the root causes of conflict and crisis, which often lie in poverty, exclusion, inequality, discrimination, and serious violations of human rights. The human and financial costs of focusing our efforts on responding to crises is unsustainable. And I've been outspoken in my support for prevention, the foundation of building and sustaining peace. Investment in prevention pays off in human lives, in financial savings, and in development gains. Sustainable, inclusive development, deeply rooted in respect for all human rights, economic, social, cultural, civil and political, is an end in itself. But it's also the world's best prevention tool against violent conflict and instability. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development is our common global blueprint to tackle these root causes and create more peaceful, stable and resilient societies founded on a fair globalization. The reinforcement of the Peacebuilding Support Office will enable it to play a stronger role in connecting our efforts on peace and security with our work to support sustainable development. My peace and security reform proposal includes a 50% increase in regular posts in the Peacebuilding Support Office at no extra cost based on gains in efficiency in other areas. At the same time, my envoys and United Nations special political missions are dedicated to facilitating political processes, mediating and preventing the eruption of open conflict. The High-Level Advisory Board on Mediation will build on the expertise of skilled diplomats and strengthen our relationships with regional organizations, non-governmental groups, and others engaged in this critical activity for peace. Mr. President, United Nations peacekeepers have a particularly critical role on the front lines of our efforts. We owe them an enormous debt for their service and their sacrifice. The twin resolutions of 2016 recognize and welcome the contributions of UN peacekeeping operations. Their overriding objective is to create a space for a political process. They have a vital role in containing violence and protecting civilians while giving political solutions time to take hold. In order to create peacekeeping operations that are fit for the challenges we face, I launched the Action for Peacekeeping initiative in this chamber last month. Action for Peacekeeping aims to refocus United Nations peacekeeping in 3 key areas: to set realistic expectations for our operations, to make them stronger and safer, and to mobilize more support, both for political solutions and for well-structured, well-equipped, and well-trained forces and their mission. We need peace operations that are better able to respond to the specific needs and contexts of the countries where they operate, adapt to evolving conditions on the ground, and leave when their job is done. Key conditions for success will be clear, defined, and more focused mandates, a long-term view, and adequate exit strategies. Smarter investment in peace building and sustaining peace should reduce the costs of peacekeeping, and this in turn will enable us to provide more support so that our peacekeeping and political missions can fulfill their mandates more effectively. Monsieur le Président, dans mon rapport sur la consolidation et la pérennisation de la paix, j'ai proposé pour examen par les États membres plusieurs options en vue d'accroître le financement des activités de consolidation de la paix des Nations Unies, de le restructurer et de mieux hiérarchiser les priorités, au moyen notamment de contributions statutaires et volontaires et de financements innovants. Le Fonds pour la consolidation de la paix est un instrument clé pour renforcer la cohérence de l'ensemble de nos activités et de nos partenariats en matière de consolidation de la paix, ainsi qu'un catalyseur pour inciter les autres à agir. Je renouvelle mon appel en faveur d'un pas de géant dans le soutien apporté par les États membres aux travaux essentiels du Fonds, et je me réjouis à la perspective de nouveaux débats sur ces options. J'attends avec intérêt l'adoption par l'Assemblée générale d'une résolution à la suite de mon rapport, traçant la voie que nous allons suivre ensemble. Monsieur le Président, nous avons eu ces derniers jours des débats enrichissants et prenants sur la façon dont nous consolidons et pérennisons la paix, comme la médiation, le règlement des conflits, le maintien de la paix et le soutien à des institutions efficaces et responsables. Et nous pouvons bâtir notre travail sur nos succès. Et je crois que le succès le plus important des temps récents a été le succès en Côte d'Ivoire. Et je profite de cette occasion pour exprimer à Monsieur le ministre mes sincères condoléances par le décès de notre grand ami et collègue, l'ambassadeur Bernard Tano Butchoué, qui a toujours, dans ce Conseil, eu un rôle extrêmement positif et important. Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, le moment est venu de passer à l'acte. Je vous remercie.